Appreciate you inviting me here. I'm going to go off script. I come here because I'm incredibly concerned. I actually have a lifelong experience with deception and how technology influences people's minds. I was a magician as a kid, so I've started off by seeing the world this way. And then I studied at a lab called the Stanford Persuasive Technology Lab, actually with the founders of Instagram. And so I know the culture of the people who build these products and the way that it's designed intentionally for mass deception. I think the thing I most want to respond to here is we've often framed these issues as we've got a few bad apples. We've got these bad deepfakes, we've got to get them off the platform. We've got this bad content, we've got these bad bots. What I want to argue is this is actually, and we've got these dark patterns. What I want to argue is we have dark infrastructure. This is now the infrastructure by which 2.7 billion people, bigger than the size of Christianity, make sense of the world. It's the information environment. And if someone went along, private companies, and built nuclear power plants, and all across the United States, and they started melting down, and they said, well, it's your responsibility to have hazmat suits and have a radiation kit, that's essentially what we're experiencing now. The responsibility is being put on consumers, when in fact, if it's the infrastructure, it should be put on the people building that infrastructure. There's specifically two areas of harm I want to focus on, even though when this becomes the infrastructure, it controls all of our lives. So we wake up with these devices, we check our phones 150 times a day. It's the infrastructure for going to bed. Children spend as much time on these devices as they do at the hours of school. So no matter what you're putting in people's brains, kids' brains at school, you've got all the hours they spend in their phones. Let's take the kids issue. So as infrastructure, this is not, the business model of this infrastructure is not aligned with the fabric of society. How much have you paid for your Facebook account recently? Or your YouTube account? 0. How are they worth more than $1 trillion in market value? They monetize our attention. The way they get that attention is by influencing you and using these dark patterns or tricks to do it. So the way they do it with children is they say, how many likes or followers do you have? So they basically get children addicted to getting attention from other people. They use filters, likes, et cetera, beautification filters that enhance your self-image. And after 2 decades in decline, the mental health of teen girls, high depressive symptoms, there's an image here that they'll be able to show, went up 170% after the year 2010 with the rise of Instagram, et cetera. Okay? These are your children, these are your constituents, this is a real issue. It's because we're hacking the self-image of children. On the information ecology front, the business model, think of it like we're drinking from the Flint water supply of information. This is the business model is polarization because the whole point is I have to figure out and calculate whatever keeps your attention, which means affirmation, not information, by default. It polarizes us by default. There's a recent Upturn study that it actually costs more money to advertise across the aisle than it does to advertise to people with your own same beliefs. In other words, polarization has a home field advantage in terms of the business model. The natural function of these platforms is to reward conspiracy theories, outrage, what we call the race to the bottom of the brainstem. It's the reason why all of you at home have crazier and crazier constituents who believe crazier and crazier things, and you have to respond to them. And I know you don't like that. Russia is manipulating our veterans we have totally open borders while we've been protecting our physical borders. We left the digital border wide open. Imagine a nuclear plant who said, we're not going to actually protect the nuclear plants from Russian cyber attacks. Well, this is sort of like Facebook building the information infrastructure and not protecting it from any bad actors until that pressure is there. And this is leading to a kind of information trust meltdown because no one even has to use deep fakes for essentially people to say, well, that must be a faked video, right? So we're actually at the last turning point, kind of an event horizon, where we either protect the foundations of our information and trust environment, or we let it go away. And we say we care about kids' education, but we allow technology companies to basically tell them that the world revolves around likes, clicks, and shares. We say we want to come together, but we allow technology to profit by dividing us into echo chambers. We say America should lead on the global stage against China with a strong economy, but we allow technology companies to degrade our productivity and mental health while jeopardizing the development of our future workforce, which is our children. And so while I'm finishing up here, I just want to say that instead of trying to design some new federal agency, some master agency, when technology has basically taken all the laws of the physical world taken all the infrastructure of the physical world and virtualized it into a virtual world with no laws. What happens when you have no laws for an entire virtualized infrastructure? You can't just bring some new agency around and regulate all of the virtual world. Why don't we take the existing infrastructure, existing agencies who already have purview, Department of Education, Health and Human Services, National Institute of Health, and have a digital update that expands their jurisdiction to just ask, well, how do we protect the tech platforms in the same areas of jurisdiction? I know I'm out of time, so thank you very much.
Thank you.